Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Maoli Vodi with financiallypresent.com, your one-stop shop for financial and investment education. And today we are going to open up a Charles Schwab account. Let's get started. You would go to charlesschwab.com or schwab.com and you would click open an account. Should take just about 10 minutes, like they say, and before you get started, you always want to have information like your full name, full legal name, date of birth, social security number, your employer address, and also I would say, just to be safe, include beneficiary information. So that would be any of your loved ones who you would leave your assets to, their full name, the date of birth, their address, and that would suffice in most scenarios. For this example, we're just going to go ahead and open up an individual brokerage account, but it gives you various options, including automated and managed portfolios. All right. If you do have a referral code, then you would enter it here. But since I don't, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Just remember, there's no fees for a regular individual account here with Charles Schwab. You can decide to do this all on your own or have assistance or upgrade it to a different style account where it may be managed. So you have various options and there's some flexibility when it comes to making some upgrades or changes in that regard. Let's get started. So my first name, middle name, last name, my current address, and whether or not it's a U.S. territory, date of birth, social, contact information. And so all very basic information. You have to make sure that your email address is very accurate because it's going to be used for security reasons, and then same with your mobile phone number. So I'll finish all this information. All right, on the next screen, it allows me to create my own login credentials. So they want you to be able to log in as soon as you've created your account or as soon as you've entered in basic information. That way you can always continue the application if you don't finish it and proceed. So I'm going to create a login ID, I'll create a password. I'm going to select my security question. That's going to be more for my security purposes. So it does ask things like what's your childhood nickname, favorite book, so on and so forth. Once you've created this information, it's actually going to send you, it's going to do a security check. So they want to make sure that it's actually you opening up the account. So we're starting off right off the bat with multi-factor authentication. So either your cell phone number or your email address is going to be used, and you can pick. I'm going to prefer a text. Then once I get the access code, I'm going to go ahead and enter it in. All right, now we're going to proceed with some of the more basic information as well, like my address, my citizenship, and then if my mailing address is the same as my home address, so I'll fill that information in. All right, now that I've submitted that information, it's asking me, would I like to add a trusted contact? Okay, so this is someone if maybe I'm being exploited financially or if there's concerns about my well-being, this is a trusted contact that Charles Schwab and their employees can reach out to. For now, I won't, but for me, it's more important to have a beneficiary than a trusted contact because it's not the same thing. So I'm going to hit continue. Why am I opening this account? Is the next question. So they really want to get an understanding of the purpose of the account. Is it for estate planning, general purposes? Is it because I'm looking to save for retirement? Are these a group of assets pulled together? Or is there another purpose? I'll say general purposes. And then where are the sources of my funds coming from for this brokerage account? Is it from my salary? Is it from Social Security benefits? Is it a gift? Is it from gambling? They want to have an idea. And this is part of the KYC laws, the Know Your Customer laws. I'll say it can be more than one. Employment status, I'll go ahead and enter that information in. If you are not employed, then of course the fields will change. If you're retired, obviously you won't have anything to put there. All right, now that I've entered that information in, we get into the regulatory questions, and everyone has to answer these questions. So, are you a member of a board of directors, 10% shareholder, or policy-making officer of a publicly held company? Nope. Most people are going to answer no. And then also, are you or is anyone with a beneficial interest in this account employed by or associated with any of the following? So are they licensed as a broker-dealer? Are they registered with FINRA, that's the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, and or a stock exchange, all right? Most people would answer no, all right? I'm no longer licensed, and so no for both of those. They want to make sure that you're not an insider or may have influence on other people's accounts or transact on the behalf of other people. Would I like to add any additional features? Okay, so this is your opportunity to go paperless or get paper statements. For me, I'm going to keep it paperless. Do I want checks or a debit card? For this account, no. I'm sure I can always add that later. Trading features. So this is your opportunity to say, hey, if you want to trade options or futures contracts and things of that nature, you can opt in with yes or disregard with no. For the sake of this, I'll say no. And then for margin allows you to borrow against the accounts or any assets within it. For this account, I'm going to say no. Options trading. I technically already have accounts that I use. You can always add options later by filling out an agreement in the future. So for simplicity's sake, I'll say no. But in order to add options, they're going to want to know the level of experience you have with it and more information about your liquidity, so assets that are readily available. Now this is kind of the summary part. We're going to review all of the information, just make sure it's accurate and safe and secure, and that way you would hit submit. All right, we're on the very last part, I would say. This is the agreements portion. This is the opportunity for them to give us all of their disclosures, give us the agreements, and we would also agree to them by checking boxes. So take some time and read those. So it may feel like you're not progressing, but as you check them, you're moving down the page. For the majority of individuals, when it comes to the electronic services agreement, you would say that you are a non-professional subscriber. And this is based off of the quotes and the information that you receive, the marketing data. Is it used for business purpose or is it professional or commercial purposes? For this, I'm going to say I'm a non-professional subscriber. Charles Schwab's Cash Features Program. Schwab's Cash Features Program allows the cash to either sit in the account or be swept into a series of banks as part of the program. And if it's swept to the banks, it's essentially part of the FDIC insurance, and it provides additional levels of protection. But for the most part, it's not going to make too much of a difference depending on what you're going to do. I would say if you're planning on leaving lots of cash in the account, and maybe you'd prefer something like a high yield savings account elsewhere, but ultimately you're opening this account up to invest. So that's why you would have the funds in the account. So for this, I'll agree. Then they'll ask me if I'm subject to backup withholding. Do I owe money to the IRS? And if I do, that means they would garnish some of the proceeds in the account, meaning if I sold some stock, right off the bat, they would take maybe 28% or whatever percent to hold and pay the IRS on my behalf. So I am not subject to backup withholding, so I'm gonna say no. And then an arbitration clause. So that just says that if there are disputes that you have against Charles Schwab, maybe you didn't like how things operated, or some quotes or trades were executed and they weren't in your favor and you argued all the way up to the top. It's just saying that you aren't going to go to court over this dispute. It's going to go to a arbitration, where it's usually a panel, a small panel of people, and they will decide it right then and there. I agree. And continue. All right, so now my account is open. I'd be able to log in with the credentials that I created before and decide to put funds in and start investing. That would be in a different video, of course, but I'm going to break down all of the features that I've found in the account in that next video. Stay tuned for more, and if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the page, and turn on notifications so that you don't miss out on future content. And until next time, stay present.